Our mission as a church is to make disciples for the transformation of the world. But before we can become effective instruments, as a church, we sometimes need to change.
As Christians, we get very complacent in our lives and we put blinders on. And it doesn't mean in general that we are bad Christians, that we just get so schedule-minded or so straightforward in everything we do, we don't allow ourselves to see things that are going around us.
Kind of felt like we were at a stuck point. We had a lot of competing vision and competing ideas for what the future direction of the church might be.
Going from one pastor to another, we felt like when I brought it up to the council as being the church chair, that we needed to develop some sort of kind of out-of-the-box way of thinking. So we felt like with Plowpoint, Longing to Belong, was an ideal situation with a new pastor coming in.
And looking through the resources that Plowpoint had, thought that maybe you guys could help us get a little clearer on that and focus in on who we wanted to be as a congregation.
Church transformation team members are clergy and laity throughout the conference who have been trained and certified by Plowpoint to provide a variety of services based on your church's needs. These services include Longing to Belong, conflict transformation, good things to God things, strategic visioning, checking vital signs, assessing local church potential, leadership and staff development.
We also had another opportunity to find out and identify those key issues, the problems that were going on in the church that were keeping us from doing the work that God was calling us to do. This group had gone through the Plowpoint workshop, the Longing to Belong workshop, and knew about the storming process and how to storm in a healthy way and how to abide and live into those godly boundaries. And so we formed a relational covenant, and now it is becoming a part of who we are here at Marvin United Methodist Church. And so when people come and want to know about becoming a member of the church, not only do we talk about our baptismal vows and our vows that we take with our prayers, presence, gifts, service, and witness, but we also talk about who we are and how we relate to one another here as a church family.
I think it has strengthened us into realizing that to better ourselves as Christians, we have to let others in. It has allowed us to see things that we might have looked at in different ways, and it all has kind of followed into the way the Plowpoint teams have developed us to do so.
The congregation was pretty clear about its past, not real clear about where it was headed into the future. But one of the things we were able to do was to recover some of the great pieces of our past, and this was established as a neighborhood congregation. And over the years, as people moved away, as they bought homes in other parts of town, we lost some of that neighborhood connection. So the neighborhood looks a lot different now than it did when the church was first started. But I think reclaiming the identity as a neighborhood church was one of the really, really important things that came out of Plowpoint, and it helped us realize who we are. So one of the biggest changes that we've seen is the congregation has actually just voted to change its name. This is our 65th anniversary year, and we've always been St. Paul here in the middle of the Sedgefield neighborhood, and an idea just sort of emerged from some of our lay leaders, partially related to Plowpoint, partially related to some other conversations about what would it mean for us to be Sedgefield United Methodist Church and to take the name of this community. And it was, I think, a real turning point for the congregation to say, St. Paul's a good name, it's a good history, it's a good heritage, but we're a neighborhood church, and we want our name and our identity to reflect the neighborhood that we live in. It's a great solid signal to our neighbors, hey, we're interested in you. We like being here, we like being in the middle of your neighborhood, and we're interested in you, and we want to be here to be your church.
Church transformation team members volunteer their time and their gifts to serve your church, making these services available and affordable to all churches.
They're great coaches. They really coached us up in how to talk with each other and communicate disagreements or praises, the whole spectrum, not just how to handle conflict, but how to just deal with people in general. They were just great at showing us good, effective ways to do that, and that obviously came in handy with the whole name change process. It was a real smooth process, and I can see Plowpoint's hand in a lot of that, and just not only that, but it strengthened relationships that I had within people within the church, helped start some new ones, helped me be more aware that, hey, I need to do a better job of reaching out.
But I think reclaiming the identity as a neighborhood church was one of the really, really important things that came out of Plowpoint, and it helped us realize who we are, and the best of who we are is kind of the best of who we've always been.
As a new pastor, I cannot say enough about how grateful I am for Plowpoint and for Marvin being a congregation that was willing and fully participated in the Longing to Belong process. It has helped us, so I encourage you to talk to a Plowpoint Church Transformation Team member. It is a wonderful opportunity, God-given gift that we have in this conference to help us to reach what God would have us do and to join God in God's work.
Plowpoint Church Transformation Teams, transforming leaders, transforming churches for the transformation of the world.